the first series of part, we talked about how to apply effectively, find the job, which one are the fake one versus the current one, and like how to apply, like what are the things you need to keep in mind while applying, how to tailor your CV, cover letter, and the portfolio, right? So that was the agenda in part one. Now, the second part is about like how to navigate different kind of interview round. Uh, so what kind of things what are the typical round in your UX design hiring process? Okay, what are some things that you should try to follow and everything? Okay, so let's dive into that. I hope everyone is able to see the screen.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, I'm good. Okay, so first of all, the big picture, right? You guys have played some kind of online game. I'm not talking about indoor like Carom or badminton, but if you are game enthusiast, you have played a game. Usually, the game progresses where you start with some stage and let it progress on with a different stage of the games, right? As soon as you pass the one stage, you jump to this next stage, and so on, right? So you should like keep that thing in mind in interview as well. You won't get all the round at once, right? You there are certain number of rounds. It depends on the company that you clear the one round of interview and then you go to the second round and so on, right? So that's how generally the things. Now, uh, based on the company, number of round and type of round might change, but typically there are 3 to 6 rounds that you can see pass. And in some cases, there are more than six as well, but very generally, I have seen it, but generally 3 to 6 rounds are there. Okay. We will also deep dive into what kind of round are this and how it can. So, initially might be a screening or HR call, right? As soon as your application is done, like they might call you and ask you some predefined questions. Okay, and becomes the portfolio screening. Basically, they review your portfolio, whiteboard challenge. Not all the company follow the whiteboard challenge, but the company who are focused on UX, they typically involve the whiteboard challenge round. Technical understanding round. I think 99% company follow this, like a technical round or take home assignment. Okay. There would be a behavior round. This is also a round which very rarely company focuses, but some of the company follow this behavior round as well. And then there is a final round where most of the thing happens around your compensation and all of these things. Right? So typically these are the round that generally involves in the hiring process for any designer role. Uh, now before I start from the first round, the screening round, let me tell you that as soon as you apply, right, what happens? Okay, so generally you apply on the portal, the company hiring manager review the application, typically sorted from high level to the low level ATS score that they get from the system. Then they review the questions that are asked around like CV portfolio. Okay, they also check if some company follow the structure of including the question in application itself, or some company just take the application and they send you a Google form as well. So it can be any mode of company. Okay. Uh, but the big thing is that your application just get 2 or 3 minutes. Okay. Typically, the hiring manager or the hiring team just spend 2 or maximum 3 minutes on each and every application that they receive. Okay. It doesn't take more than that. You might be questioning that how they can evaluate our years of work in 2 3 minutes. That is pretty, I would say, common question. But believe me, when you reach at that stage, you would know certain things that work in a certain aspect that you would be like just overseeing, right? Because in this shortlisting, you don't deep dive into each and everything. You just make sure that okay, whatever we are requiring, is it aligning or not? Because all of the details thing are tested in each and every separate round. But for the screening, they check your CV, they check your ATS score, they check your portfolio very high level. They open the portfolio link, okay, see what are the project and what kind of project are they, B2C, B2B, complex project, mobile application. They don't go each and every stage. They just overall see that steps like is there some research done, is there any UI, why happened. That is all that they check. Okay, they don't deep dive to each by each line, but this is something that typically happens in the pipeline. Okay. Your CV is mostly checked for the experience that you might have, what kind of companies you have worked, and what was your role in there, right? So roles and responsibility. Okay, and cover letter is basically checked because why you are applying for this particular job based on the JD, why you are the perfect fit for this role. Okay, and the screening question that they are there, it might be on your, I would say, CTC, it might be around what kind of project you have done, or it might be around certain criteria like your notice period or something like that, right? Because some company might be looking for quick hiring, so the people who have 60 or 90 days notice period, they don't consider that because they want to fill the. So these questions are basically just so they can quickly check the parameter that they need against your review. Okay? So these are the purpose about this thing. Okay, now we will deep dive into each and every round. Like what is the aim of that round? What are the things that you should expect from the particular round? And what are some tips that I have seen so far that people use and that really impress the hiring manager and that helps you clear this round. Okay? So let's dive into the first round for just at any stage of this session, if you have any question, feel free to drop it in the chat. We will discuss in the details. Okay. So feel free if you have any question. Now, first is the screen now. So the purpose of this is just to check the few things like your current CTC, expected CTC, notice period, right? It can be done in two ways. HR calls you because they have given this particular set of questions. Okay. So they ask you around this question that, hey, I'm calling from so and so company. We have received your application. I want to ask you a few questions. And then they ask this question. Okay? Sometimes it's not around the CTC and what it is. Sometimes it is around some predefined things that design team asks the HR to ask that, okay, can you ask what kind of project they have worked? So words like B2B, B2C, mobile, Android, iOS, they know this kind of stuff. Okay. So they note down these things, okay? And generally this round 5 to 10 minute call. It doesn't take more than that to ask this 3 to 5 set of set question. Okay. So that is the purpose of the screening round. Now, if they are done with their question, right? Don't shy away from asking the question that you might have. Okay. But keep in mind that it is still screening round. So you should not directly ask that, okay, what is the technical round? What is the, but you can ask the questions like, okay, how many rounds of process you follow? Okay, any other HR stuff that is it a remote job? It is a, mostly they write this in description, but if you still have questions, you can ask those questions. But make sure that in each and every round, you have a right to ask the question at the end. Okay, but it should be around that round. Okay, so if you are in the screening round, ask the question about their interview process, job, and everything. But you can't ask that, okay, what kind of methodology you follow. Mostly the HR don't know this, right? Because they are HR. So this kind of question about methodology and process that you should ask in the whiteboard or technical round. Okay? So make sure if you have any question, you can ask the HR. Now, uh, what are the so the tips in this round is generally that I'd be honest, okay, and ask the question that you might have, okay. There is nothing like extra secret in this round because these are very straightforward. Now let's go to the portfolio screening now. What happens in this round? So purpose of this round is just to check your yes, yeah.
Yeah. So, Manoj bhai, recently I received a call, basically the screening call, and it was, I guess, recorded, or maybe some AI assistant was who was talking, and the mobile number. I also checked the mobile number after the call, and it was actually genuine a company. So we see AI recruiters doing this screening round. So any specific tip in order to tackle that?
Yeah, so so nowadays most of the recruitment software allows the text, call, and email capability inside the software itself. Okay. as soon as like you are shortlisted and you are moved to the pipeline. So there are pipelines generally. Each job has a pipeline like applied, shortlisted, okay, screening, technical, and that pipeline is created based on the company's need. You can create that pipeline. So as long as you move to the shortlisted pipeline, this AI bot start calling one by one people. And typically it does the same job as HR, but this is very autonomous in one way. Okay. Like they ask that, hey, can you state your name? As soon as you are done with your name, they take a 2-3 second pause and then they ask the predefined question. Okay. There is no, I would say, interaction or the cross questioning, but still they do this. And believe me, I would say that is not even 50-60%, I would say, useful. They are not that capable that handles this kind of complex query. But still, people have started using this. Sometimes they will get few information and even they miss few things, then they manually call or send an email for confirmation. Okay? That happens. But AI powered this screening round are not that very popular. Few companies have started doing that just to ease the burden on the hiring team. But yeah, if they get all the answer from the pre-recorded call, AI even partialize or like partial this information and it fill in your application against you. But if there are some things that doesn't match, we see that okay, that details not clear or didn't collected in the call. Then we call and then the HR or any other person send an email that okay, can you send us the following detail we need to attach it to your application. So that might happen, but it is still not 100% say up. Okay,
Yeah,
does that
thanks for
answer
that.
the question? Okay.
Yes, it does.
Okay, great. So we are in the screening round. So portfolio screening round. The purpose of this screening round is basically what you are claiming in your CV and portfolio. Are you saying all the things are correct or not? Are you like over estimating, or you are just I would say imposter? Okay, that I do all the things. So that is the purpose of this round. Okay. In the portfolio specifically, whatever you have shown, okay, generally it is checked that, okay, whatever stage of the process you follow, like research, wireframe, ideation, okay, whatever you are claiming, okay. So we go into that. We don't, in this round, it is still not technical, okay. It is still, we just want to validate the thing, that have you followed this thing or not, okay. And also, it also shows us that, okay, in between this portfolio screening questions, recruiter asks you questions that, okay, like, why do you think you are perfect fit for this role based on your project and our work, right? Because sometimes not your project are aligned with their domain. So they might ask this question. So basically, these are the few tactics that recruiter does that also, because sometimes, believe me, people comes with predefined script. Okay, that they start presenting their portfolio. Even in between, recruiter want to ask the question. They said, "Let me finish it, and I will answer your question in the end." That's the big red flag. Okay, because that shows that you cannot be interrupted and asked about anything. Even in the portfolio, how would it work with the client call? Where client has some question that they want to ask, and you say to the client that, okay, let me finish my design presentation, and then I will answer the question. Okay? So, and believe me, when this thing happens, generally when people have not done all the work, but it is the teamwork and they are trying to present the whole work as their own, because they don't want to lose the momentum. Otherwise, they will forget the thing, right? That's when the people say that let me finish work. But if you have done anything genuine, just showcase only that work, that I was involved in this, and even if in between interview you ask the question, it would not break your momentum. Okay. So, so they gauge your interest and company role as well. And most important thing evaluated during each and every round, but particularly this, the first round is your communication skill. How good your speech is on the English. Okay, how well you have used the vocabulary. Are you saying that I did this, or you are using the vocabulary like I followed this principle, I try to check the accessibility, or are you just saying that, okay, I check the color contrast, but for what, right? So using the proper vocabulary, speaking in a manner that shows that how good you are in the communication. Those are the things that is specially checked in this first round. Okay. If your communication is not that good, believe me, even if you have a very good portfolio, they will likely reject you. Okay. Most probably the company who are working with the US and European company. In the Indian-based company, they still let go of some things, but when the company is dealing with the US client or European client, they need the good. And particularly the company who faces UK, they need really good company, right? Because their English is so much fast and garbled compared to the US people that uh, okay, many US specialists in the country. Yeah, I know it's a hardcore entry-level designer. Specifically, there are thousands and thousands of entry-level designers are coming just by doing some boot camp, 3 month certification, 6 month certification. There is nothing wrong in that, but I believe that in 3 to 6 months, you just know the surface level thing. Compared to the people who come by doing 3 to 4 years of a design degree, okay, B design or M design degree. So it would be tough for the people who just crash course coming from different branch, right? From civil engineer, architect, and they are trying to break into the UX field. So you have to prove more than those people who are coming from bachelor design degree. I'm not sure the market in that is program, but in India, there are a couple of, I would say, institute who are design specialists like Symbiosis, MIT, NIFT, okay, NID. These are the design specialists, and most of their students get a placement during the college because company knows the value of this 3 to 4 year design study. Even the IIT has started now design courses compared to the people who are coming from bootcamp. So it is tough, but it is still not hopeless as long as even if you have done the 3 to 6 month boot camp, right? As long as you are able to showcase your skill in the portfolio, even as an entry level designer, you might have created some case study to complete your certification, right? So showcase that skill, and apart from your certification project, do one more project with the collaboration of 3 to 4 other entry level designers who have worked. Because not only it showcase the skill, it also showcase that you are not afraid of doing the collaboration even with the early stage. And I have a lot of people who I know, they are not even friends or from the same college, but they have created a project together. So there are a lot of community that happens that do this project together. Okay. It's just you have to find the people. Okay. Discord, okay, Twitter, there are a lot of people who collaborate on Twitter and Discord and connect with each other and do this kind of group project. Just for the sake of their portfolio. Okay, nothing else. So you can try that. I will definitely add your value to your portfolio and your application. I hope that answers the question. Okay.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So
Now I can hear.
it does answer my question, but I would also like to know your opinion on like project or portfolio in general. Like, if you were a beginner in design, would what projects would you create in order to like have a decent portfolio just to prove your skills?
Yeah. Okay. I will give you some part because in our third part we are covering that. But I would typically go with the actual or the problem which is complex rather than redesigning some banking application or redesigning some food application. Believe me, as a recruiting person, out of 10 entry level designer portfolio that I have seen, 8 have Axis or this kind of banking redesign or the food delivery project redesign or some level of e-commerce redesign. It definitely adds as a project in your portfolio, but was the concern that you felt was genuine and you tried to solve it, or it was just your hypothesis and you faced something and you tried to solve? Because believe me, as a designer, we will face a lot of time that okay, this is not working, let me solve it. Okay, because that is what we have faced. But then you ask around 5 to 10 different people, are they also following the same? If yes, then you really can do the basic level of research, and then you can definitely add that okay, I found this issue and I try to add this. I try to solve this problem. I'm not sure. Like in the LinkedIn in India, if currently there are a lot of things going on, Zepto's and Zomato's rain-free platforming, all of them. People are trying to solve that. We can remove this. Definitely, we also want that you remove all this platform fee. We just pay the flat, but you need to understand their business logic as well. They are not earning just like providing the code. They take the commission and they see this opportunity. Definitely, it is a dark pattern, but that's how they thrive their business. Okay, so you need to consider both user and business perspective before you jump in to solve that problem. That will add the value to your project. So try to find some real world problem that people have. And there is no limit on this kind of problem. There are a lot of problems that exist in today's design world. Even a simple chat GPT or Google where you can ask it, can you give me some real world problem that can solve as a UX designer? It will give you from multiple domains, from fintech to the healthcare to the e-commerce. Okay, so there are a lot of problems that you can try and find to solve, but I would say try to, I would say make a value in your project rather than just redesigning, changing the color, button shape and input. It just shows your URL, not the UX. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, so the screening round typically happens to 20 to 60 minutes. Okay, it depends on company to company. It generally spans from 20 to 60 minutes. And mostly this kind of rounds are online. Even the company is in person, but this kind of round happen online because it's very quick and it is fast, and even recruiter don't have to spend much of time in the office and booking the room, and you also don't have to travel to the office. Right? So these are the generally things that happens around this kind of round. And most of these rounds are conducted by junior. If it is an entry or junior level role, it is conducted by junior role. But if it is mid level or senior, then this round are conducted by senior designers. Okay. In this round, you will be asked that, okay, your introduction, very quick introduction, and then you have to share your screen and walk you through your portfolio, what kind of step you had followed, okay, and any KPI or the metrics that you might have for that project, that what was the improvement, if you have some issue, any kind of KPI, okay. And these are some questions that I have generally seen that people ask, okay, tell me about yourself. So this should be very quick and short, that your introduction should be wrapped up in 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, it should cover like who you are, what you do, and why the UX is. I really had this, but I don't tell it in the interview round. I let the people go because it is a fixed number of minutes. So if they want to spend 10 minutes just by describing each and every company they have worked, that's fine. They will just get last 10 minutes or last 20 minutes for their portfolio. They are like consuming their own time for another activity. But I would say don't like start and okay, I started my journey as an intern, then here and there. All of these things are available in your CV. Okay. When we say quick introduction, introduction should be focused on who you are and what you do rather than the history of the company. And there are so many people that I've heard that every 6 or 8 months they have changed the company, and even at the 3 year of experience, they have own company to list. And they just go on that, okay, here I will do this, here I will do this, and the whole 10 minutes is asked just on the history, which can be seen in the CV as well. Okay? So I would say make your introduction very impactful by keeping that who you are, why you love UI and what you do, right? And how you contribute to this industry. Then you would sometimes ask that, okay, you might have multiple projects. So either interview tell you that, okay, I want to see this particular project because that might be aligning with their domain. Or if not, then they say that, okay, describe a project that you are proud of or this type of project that you have done recently. Right? This kind of request might come. And then if that's the case, then you need to tell why you are proud of that project. Okay. And so the impact if you have, not just the visual, and if you don't have KPI yet because the project is still in the development or not launched, then you can say that, okay, how you have done the research, how you contributed how did you do the cross collaboration? This kind. Okay. Uh, it might also stay around like particular process. When you are presenting your portfolio, recruitment person might ask specific that, okay, now explain me your ideation process and what kind of technique you use. And you have to be explain this thing because here those things are tested. Okay, ideation. Okay, so what is the ideation? And there are different techniques for ideation. Okay, you might think, okay, but there are a lot. There is crazy eight, there is round robin, there is sponsor. So a lot of ideation techniques. Here, your vocabulary as well as your knowledge about UX process would be tested. It might look like a very simple and silly question, but here we know. Sometimes I have seen that when we ask that, okay, they are explaining that, okay, the navigation was not useful to the user. People will confused about this thing, so we redesign this navigation. We simply ask that, okay, tell me which heuristic principle was broken because of the complex navigation. They don't know. Okay, that shows that you just know the surface level thing. You don't know about the principles behind what kind of principle rules. And sometimes if we are still in the mood, then we ask that how many total heuristic principles are there. So they start picking random number like 5, 6. That's how we know that okay, this person doesn't even know the total count of heuristic principle. That's so that the UX, I would say, basic is very weak. They know few things here and there. They might have heard from their colleague or they might have heard from LinkedIn or somewhere else, but are still not associating those processes and those things with the actual day-to-day design. Okay. So it can be anything. It might ask that, okay, did you do the quantitative research or qualitative research? So if you don't know the basic difference between those, that's a very big red flag. Okay. So question might be around the process overall processes. Okay. So as I mentioned, right? So you need to explain this thing. Some companies follow different methodology. Okay? There are agile, there is waterfall, there is double diamond. So if you have followed any particular methodology for your project, or if your company is following that particular method, we can just say that okay, we use the double diamond methodology for this project, where we started from the stakeholder interview and progressively done the research, then the brainstorming, the ideation, wireframe, and then we went to the UI. That gives us the pretty much good that okay, you know the steps and you have done this. Okay? Now, don't go into detail line by line for each step. Okay, because if Victoria asks about the process, then you just high level say what was the process. Not that, okay, we were 5 people, we took 2 days and 3 days. If they specifically ask that how much time it took you to do this, then answer that question. Otherwise, that is not necessary. That is not even expected that you give all the things from your company, which might sometimes might be very confidential as well about the team structure, and you are just openly describing it. Okay. So whatever is asked, only give the answer around that. Okay, not more than that. Uh, it might be asked, the question would be around your tool or skill as well. Okay, sometimes they ask the question. Now, there's a skill not around where they will ask you about the tools like Figma and everything. It might be, let's say you have claimed that we did the heuristic evaluation or we did the hit mapping. And what kind of tool you did use for the hit mapping, or what kind of tool you use for the quantitative selection? Around that question would be interesting. And sometimes they will ask you, particularly in the end of the interview, they would ask the questions about either just to test, just to gauge your interest, that what kind of behavior you showcase while you are in tight deadline, or if you receive the negative feedback, or if you are okay with remote work or in office work, right? This kind of question are just put at the end just to test your behavioral skill. Okay. Particularly, some company has separate behavior round, but if not, then they can be combined with this round as well, where they ask you question to gauge your behavior. That what would you do? How would you react to certain situation? They might ask that, okay, we will cover more in the behavior round, but it might be around your if projects got delayed, if you are not able to complete the work, anything around those situations. Okay, they just want to see what is your answer. Okay, and typical, you might have seen this question most of the time, then why do you want to work here? So don't say that I like your work and I like your process. I'm not sure how do people find the process about company unless even the Google and Microsoft are part of company, but you don't know which process they follow, what is their team structure, right? But why do you want to work here should be around like what kind of product they are building, what kind of work they are doing. And you can show that, okay, I'm interested in this kind of product, or I'm interested in your, I would say, work culture. And work culture is mostly known. So you need to really answer this question smartly. Why do you want to work here? Never say that because I left my old company and I'm looking for a new job. Definitely, that's why you are looking for the job, but why particularly our company? Okay, so these are the questions. Uh, okay, sometimes they ask why I want to leave the current job. Now, here are the dilemma. And definitely, you need the job either for better financial gain, right? For the better salary. Some people leave the company for better opportunity as well because they are bored with the current company. And some people just want to switch because they might have some situation, especially around the women who might have got married or they are shifting to the other city after the marriage. Okay. But never say, never just, even if your company is the worst, never say bad things about your current company. Even your manager is very rude, that's fine. You want to quickly escape those work culture, fine. But don't say that this is my manager is so bad and all that. Definitely, but you still can make it positive that okay, currently your company's work culture is like very much stipulated or the management is changed and I'm not finding myself there. Okay. There are diplomatic answer to this kind of thing, but never say that okay, my manager is bad or my company doesn't pay on the time. Yeah, it's a pain point for everyone. If someone company is not paying good, but there are diplomatic answer to this kind of thing. Uh, they can ask you around like how do you learn the new thing or upskill yourself. This is the good thing that you really need to practice because this not only will showcase your skill, but it will also show that once you are joined, how much progress you would make. Okay, and would you learn new things and teach it to other designers? And how would you make the company's progress successful? Okay, so if you are like time to time, you might be doing some courses, you might doing some certification, you might going to the webinars, seminars, then just express that, okay, that this is how I learn the new thing, how I communicate with the different designers, different cities, people, and all that. Okay? So that's that. The question might come from what are your expectations from this role or the company? Now, it's a genuine mistake, but this is not the expectation about your salary. Okay? That is mostly for the HR round. This is expectation in terms of what are your expectations as a designer. Okay? If you are still confused, just ask that, okay, are you talking about salary benefit or are you talking about skill? Okay, and let them clear that question. But if they say that what are your expectations from this role, then you can ask the question. And if it is about skill, then you should ask that, okay, what you are looking for. In your current company, you might be doing just the UI work. There is no UX work. You are looking for that. Or you are just getting UX work, but you are not getting any UI work. But that is a separate team, so you are not able to deep dive into each and every field. You are just doing one particular job. So whatever are your expectations, make it clear in this round. Okay, it should not be something very common. Okay, that okay, I want to grow. Everyone wants to grow, but is there any particular thing? Because this will help them as well. That when you are onboarded, they will create this very structured plan and they will put you in a team or the project which give you this kind of benefit or which will give you this kind of opportunity. Okay, and this is the goal. Do you have any question for me? If this question comes in, then believe me that people knows that okay, double-sided communication, two-way communication is necessary. If they don't ask this question, that is, I won't say very bad, but it's not a good sign. They might just ask the question that they have, and you might have 100 of questions, and if they don't ask, it, okay, do you have any question for that? So that it is just a one-way communication. It was just that they wanted to gather all the things from you, but they don't have a time to answer even one or two questions. Okay. So most of the time, this question would come at the end, but if not, and before they say thank you, you can just say, hey, can I have your minute? I have a couple of questions. If they have hurry and they have to jump to other calls, sometimes they will say that, yeah, send your question over email and I will answer them. Okay. That also works, but as long as they answer your question, that's all that okay, they believe in two-way communication. It's not just a one-sided communication. Right? So these are the kind of questions that might come in this round. Now, some tips. As I mentioned, 1 or 2 minute quick introduction. Prepare this kind of introduction. Generally, it works for each and every company, but you can change it as well. Right? If you are applying for a particular company, either it is service-based company, then you might tweak it for that. If it is a product-based company, you can change it around those things as well. Okay. If that company is just working on particular section of the particular domain, you can try to change it, but make sure it is very quick and now, this should be done before the applying, but if you still miss because of in a hurry, you just applied from LinkedIn, easy apply, and you got shortlisted. Still, you can go to the website, LinkedIn. Some people even find their GST number and everything. Okay, believe me, people go to this step level. They find who are the founding partner, what is the capital of this company, is there any criminal cases pending on the partner? It's depend up to you. And even you can do simple Google search and you will find all this detail about the company or about their GST number or their registered office and everything. But research a company like you are a detective because you will work there. Okay? You want to work there, so you have to know each and everything about that company. Their mission, their reason, what kind of project do they, what is their work culture. Okay, most of the company have career page or about us page where you can find all of this detail. Be enthusiastic throughout the interview. Make sure you are showing the enthusiasm that okay, you are interested. So it is just for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, not that for the whole day. I know if it is the whole day, you might have down time, maybe you might have thinking something, so you are so much in the thinking that you are not able to express yourself. But in the interview, it's just 30 or 60 minutes. So make sure you keep that warm smile on your face, okay, and not like I have done this. I have faced this kind of people that they have good portfolio, they have good knowledge. I don't know. I don't know if it come as a ego, but either they have no genuine interest, or they might sometimes have ego because they are coming from IIT, NIFD, and they think that they will get this job. And sometimes I've seen that it is a natural, I would say, facial expression, but even do anything. But they are like, yeah, I did this. Some people like, yes, I did this. This is not. This is an interview, guys. It's not something. If you are sitting with your colleague, once you are joined, you can go party everything, but when you are interviewed, showcase that you are very much genuinely interested. Okay? So that is it. Uh, when you are presenting the portfolio, okay, don't go like flight which go from point A to B. Work like a train. At every stage, just take a small pause and just ask, hey, do you have any question? If they say no, no, you can continue. That's fine. Sometime interview will say that okay, if I have any question, I will ask you. In that case, you can go continue. Okay? And make sure that you are giving them a chance to ask a question. Okay, if they can. And in the end, ask if they have any feedback for you. And because in the email that you will get rejection, that would be very common and scripted. Thank you for applying. As we have moved on with the new the appropriate candidate, we are not going forward with the application. You will not get the detailed feedback. I know people say that how much time it takes to write a detailed feedback for rejection, but believe me, it takes a lot of time because there would be hundreds of applications and there would be one or two hiring managers who are doing this interview. They might not have written down each and everything about each and every interview. Okay. So HR doesn't know this, and even if they pass this one, it takes a lot of time. So they just have this common email that they send. But you can ask this feedback in the end of the interview, which will help us understand. Even if you are selected or not, you would have a feedback, right? Even if you are not selected, you won't be lingered with that question that where did I know? And believe me, not all the company would have same hiring standard. Okay, so you might see that this company works in this round and their hiring style might be different, their questioning style will be different, that your application would be gold for them. In some company that might not be. So in the end, If they give you any feedback, take that feedback as a positive. And if there are anything that you need to work on, just write it down and work in for your next report. Always ask for any feedback. And one another thing, it shows that you are very open to feedback. You are not something person that should, because once you are hired every 3 months or 6 months or a year, your performance appraisal or the performance evaluation would be done, right? Based on company standard. So at that time, they know that, okay, you are not very good at handling the feedback. Then it's too late, but they will definitely like few things here and there. But this showcase that you are very open to feedback. And and then just say thank you for this opportunity. And if you have the email, definitely you can send an email that, hey, thank you for the opportunity. And if you can include, I have received a couple of people's email that in the end of the day, they say, hey, thank you for this interview. I learned this thing from you. Thank you for sharing that feedback. Even though I'm hired or not, let me know if we can connect over LinkedIn. So there are a lot of ways this conversation going on. And a lot of people that have been rejected have reached out to me on the LinkedIn, and we have done mock interviews, portfolio reviews. So you don't know what kind of opportunity you would get with that person, but always end the interview with a thankful note. Okay. So that is for the screening round. I'll take a pause. If anyone have any question in screening round, feel free to ask. Yes, Nadir.
Yeah, so Manoj, I wanted to ask one thing that you mentioned that sometimes the hiring manager asks that if we have a question to ask, sometimes what happens that we might not have get enough of time to browse through the company before, going for an interview. So is there anything like some questions that we can ask in general to understand their company with them?
Okay. First of all, believe me, if you are not researching about the company before the first round, it's a big, I would say, drawback for you, right? But if you have not done it, okay, then you can ask around. Well, believe me, why company research matters is that you are before even applying for the first round, you have researched about what kind of project, because this is the indirect answer that why you are interested in this role. Right? Interview will ask. So if you have not done research about their company, that question will get, I would say, ignored, right? You have not done research, then you might make up some story, but that will not align with their JD and company. And that's how we know that this person has not done even a single research about our company. But still, if you have not done the research about the company, you can ask around like what kind of recent project they have done. Don't even ask that, okay, what project you have done. That also shows that you have not visited the website. But you can show, because in the project section, they might have multiple projects. Then ask, what was the recent project you guys have done which was successful? That is a very safe question. That's how they will also not know that you have not done research about their company. It might also make you then that, okay, you are genuinely interested about the recent work that we have done. Or you can ask about, okay, what is the current team size of your company? What is the team structure that we follow? These are some safe questions if you have not done the research about company. But always do the research before applying. If not, then before the first round. But if you are late in that, believe me, a lot of time people get rejected just because they didn't take 5 minutes or 10 minutes time to do the research about the company that where they want to work and what research you do about the client project. Right? That is the direct implication. It might not be true, but that is what interviewer see as. Okay. Yes, Sharon.
Hi, Manu. So what I wanted to ask was when they ask you the very generic question, which is tell me something about you. It's
Mhm.
so you did mention a couple of really good things that we are supposed to mention who we are, what we are doing, and why we are in the UI UX. But it's like that is again still a little generic for me to understand. So can you like give maybe a certain example into like answering this question? So like how would you
Sure.
like? Yeah, thank
Are
you.
you currently working, Jen?
Pardon?
Are you currently working at any company?
Yes, I am.
Okay. What is the company?
Promact Infotech.
Promac Input.
Yes.
Okay, I will tell you the answer around that company.
Okay.
How I did it. Right? So, is it the promacinfo.com?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what I will do, I will just go through your services. Right? What kind of services you do. Suppose we log in. Okay, so this would be my answer that when you ask me, tell me about it. So I will tell you that, hey, my name is Manoj. I'm a UX designer, currently working at Courier Design. And about myself, I have been in this industry for the last 12 years, and I have worked on numerous projects like ERP system, AI integration, as well as some of the cloud-based projects as well. Okay? My expect like why I am in the UK because I want to make an impact that people problem would be solved using the design. Okay? I want to do this with the Promac Infotech where once I went to your website and got to know that you guys are working on this kind of uh, ERP system, cloud-based software, and recent blogs about AI. I read through that, and it makes me wonder that okay, how can I contribute to this? Sorry. It's kind of buttering that you're buttering that person to the company around what they do, but believe me, it works. Not only in the interview, even in your real life, you have your friends or family members. When you make, I would say, the good things about their achievement or about their things, they would work. I'm sure in India, you might know that, okay? When we praise our relative, we might got 50 or 100 rupees that we us. Okay, it's kind of that kind of thing, but believe me, when you do the research, that's how you can work around this introduction or why you want to join us. That really changes the thing rather than generic answer because I am a designer and I want to solve the problem. But what kind of problem or that you need to know about that company, what kind of project they work, right? So that is the difference that makes when you done research and when you have wanted. Uh, any other question? Okay, great. Uh, and next round would be whiteboard. Not all the company follows it. Sometimes whiteboard and technical are combined when it is a take-home assignment. But we will see who that if it is just a separate whiteboard challenge, what comes in this? Okay. So, purpose of this round is just to know about your design thinking. How do you think? Okay, how do you tackle the problem and how do you solve it? Okay. Uh, it also showcases that once you are given this challenge, okay, they might give you a PDF or they might share the link with you. Once you are going through the detail about this challenge, what kind of question you ask? Right? This is the most important thing. Why? Because in your day-to-day design life, when you are working with a product-based company or the large company, there are the team structure where you would be given a PRD or the GRT with all the details, ifs and else and buts and all these things, right? So once you are given this kind of detail, are you coming with any question? You are just starting doing the things without knowing, and you are just figuring out along the way. And whatever happens, I will see in the later stage. Right? So that is where we know that if a person is asking a question, that means this person is very active and for like future thinkers. Right? Okay? What are the things? Why? Who are the user? Okay, any kind of question. And in the end, how do you handle the feedback? It would be in that it would be iteration based as well. Some company follow the iteration based whiteboard challenge where you would be given a feedback, then they will tell you, okay, now make these changes. Okay. So how did you handle that feedback? And after that feedback, what changes you made and how impactful they are? Okay. So it can be both. And most importantly, in most of the time, you would be put in a position where you would normally get in the hectic environment, you would come under pressure. Okay, they are just they're just trying to see what you do in the under pressure. Okay, I have seen some facial expression which are really not good for this now. Like people like lip syncing as well. That tells us that this person is like speaking curse word or something like that. So they just put you under pressure just to see how you react. Okay, once you are done with that, they might give you missing details or something like that. Purposefully, they hide few details as well. Okay, sometimes just to see, are you asking the question? For example, if I give you a problem statement, but I did not mention is it a mobile app or web application, and you did not even ask me the question, you just assumed and went ahead. That shows that okay, you did not ask the question, and people will let it go. Yeah, okay, let it go. And in the end, we say that okay, but we did not get mobile application. We wanted web application. And you would tell, then why didn't you tell me? And the interviewer will tell that okay, why didn't you ask? Okay, it kind of looks like argument, but this is the thing. As a designer, if you are on a client call, the client will give you a very vague grade. Okay, then are you just doing the one? Or are you asking the cross question to the client just to get the ball going? Okay? So this is what it showcases in this one. Okay? And how did you understand the brief? What kind of question you ask, and how do you handle the feedback, and how do you perform under the pressure? Okay? Now, what to expect? So this round typically stand between 30 to 60 minutes. It can be offline or online both. Okay? It's a mixed method. Some company who are remote, they don't have anything, so they call online. Some company who have presence in the office, they call you to the office. Okay? Typically, this is the round where it might be one person if it is online, but if it is an office, it might be a panel as well, two, three people. Okay, and generally it will be senior or lead design. And what kind of changing will come in this round? So it might be around redesigning the existing feature of their application, or it can be any hypothetical. They'll pick a website and they say that redesign this. It might be to create a user flow. You don't have to create any US thing, but you are given a problem and you just need to create the user flow. Like what would be the user's journey from this to this point and how it will solve the problem. It might be around some UX problem as well. That, okay, it might be like our support team is getting this kind of pull request every time, or the people are facing this issue, and they will tell you that how would you solve this problem. It might be just to do the critique of the design. Okay? That okay, this is the design, critique it, this design. Okay? It might be around ideation as well. Sometimes just the paper step that okay, if you had to introduce new feature, can you give us the rough idea that what kind of structure you would put and everything? Okay? So these are the kind of things would be given. Now, let me tell you some of the. When I interviewed for the MNO cost, I was given a payment to the existing payment gateway. Okay, it was that how would you redesign this feature? Okay, nothing else, just this kind of thing. Then I had to ask the question that what are the existing problems? Do you have any user request or any, I would say, the issue that your existing user are reporting, or you are just revamping these things? So that showcase that person that okay, I have not just take the vague brief and I just did it on my own. I have asked the follow-up question. After that, they said that okay, this in the web part, the payment gateway in the half side there was a selection of payment gateway. In the half side, it was showing the entering the card detail or the UPI detail, which was there, but it was not working well in the mobile because there were 8 or 9 different payment methods. So in the web, it was visible, but when it was in the mobile, just the 8 payment method were taking the time. So how would you solve it? So make sure that okay, you ask the follow-up question. Not every time they will give you the 100% brief. Okay, and that is purposefully. So ask the question. Okay, as many questions as you have. Okay, but clarify your question and then tackle the problem. Okay. Some tips around this. So before you go to this kind of round, make sure that you brush up on the principles like heuristic laws of UX, accessibility principle, all of this small things. Okay? Uh, as I mentioned, ask the clarifying question before you start. Okay. Sometimes, based on the problem statement, they might say that whenever you have a question, you can ask us. Okay? And that's really good, right? Because you can ask the question at any stage. But if not, you can start asking the question when you start. Uh, this is good, but before you say that, okay, can I speak what I'm thinking aloud? Just ask the permission. Is it fine with you if I just speak my process? Believe me, 9 out of 10 times they will say yes, because that is the goal for us. And what do you think? Why are you making certain decision? Or you are just doing your job and then you are doing. Okay, so if you are thinking aloud, this, and some people have that habit, and that is a really good habit. Okay, I think this navigation is not working, but when I hover, drop downs open. But what will happen if it touch screen? I can't hover it. So you are thinking, right? And they are knowing your design, thinking your thinking skill. So that's a good thing. But just ask, that, hey, is it okay if I think aloud and speak? And they will say yes. 9 out of 10 times they will say yes. Time management. So whatever time you are given, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, or 60 minutes, okay, and divide those time. Okay. For example, if it is about the designing a new feature, then make sure you take 5 to 10 minutes just to research the existing product and how your new feature will be fitting in there. Then you, in remaining 15 or 20 minutes, you think about the new feature and placement of the element and all that. And last 5 minutes just to discuss your solution with the interviewer. If it is about the heuristic evaluation, then you can start, right? Because you would be given a sample website or a application, you have to do the heuristic evaluation. But you might need to note down the things. So if it is online, you open your notepad or Google Doc or Excel, whatever you want to do. And if it is in office, then you can ask for A4 size paper, right? And you can write it down. And if it is about like a critique of a design, then that would be a two-way communication. So if that's the case, then critique a design that I think this is not working. Don't just say this is not working, then ask, what do you think? Okay? That says that, okay, you are also valuing the opinions of others. Okay? So do the timeline and allocate the time and divide the time for the different parts, right? Based on the activity. And this round is mostly about how quickly you find the solution. There won't be any UI screen involved in this. So keep it simple, because even if you are drawing, you would be drawing wireframe. Okay? So some people just take that scale and for easy line. Believe me, it wastes your time. When you go in that pixel perfection for the straight line and everything, it will just waste your time and it will not give you enough time to find the solution, but more time you would focus on nitty-gritty and the UI part. Okay? And let me show you my rough wireframe. That will give you the idea. So this is the one of the wireframe. Okay. This is my rough wireframe, just few meters. Okay. You see, the squares are not pixel perfect. That is fine. There are a lot of things, but the aim is that you have found the solution, not the UI. This round is just to check your design thinking and your problem solving skill, not the UI. UI would be still coming in your technical round. Okay, so make sure that you are giving more time on the solution rather than UI. And during the when you are presenting your designs or solution or wireframe, whatever you have created, then explain each and every stage. Even if you had created some card, then explain that why card, what would happen. Some people I have seen going extra mile, that okay, when they have designed a card, they create a same dummy design for the shadow with this little edge, and they said on hover it would add the shadow. Okay, so they are not thinking about just the solution, but they are also thinking about interactions, that how it will work. Okay, so make sure you are explaining the designs. And if you have done any research and found something, make sure you are communicating that, okay, I did this research or I did this competitor analysis very quickly and I found that, okay, these are the missing features that we can take up, we can include in our app, whatever feature you are designing for, okay? So explain each and every thing that you have gone through in that 30 minutes or 60 minutes. Again, handle the feedback in positive way. Okay, if it is a iterative round, they will give you the feedback that, okay, this is not working, this is not working. So when they are giving feedback, it doesn't mean you take as it is. Okay, then you ask, because sometimes the feedback may be that I don't like the UI, or not the UI, but I don't like the structure. Then you ask them what exactly you are not liking. Is it not solving your problem? These are the kind of question you can ask. Okay, and that is very valid to ask the question. Okay, so ask the question, but make sure those questions are not in the anger or in this despitefulness. Okay, this is a question because you want create the second iteration based on first round feedback. That what exactly is not working, and that's why you have to find it. Okay, so that is it. Any question for the live question? Yes, Jan.
So earlier you mentioned about sharing, like the most important thing would be how do we think under pressure. So can you like give an example of what kind of situation we could be presented with, and maybe answer to it as well. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. So generally, the things that purposefully done are, as I mentioned, a brief, but by removing few important lines. Okay. They'll give you the problem statement, persona, but they will exclude key details just to make sure you ask the question. If you don't ask the question, then you figuring it out facially, because when this is online offline, your facial expression would be noted. Because you are working on problem. As an interview, I don't have to do anything. I just see what is your facial expression. If it is offline, that's well and good, because there would be a panel of people. One would be focusing on what you are creating. One would be just observing you, what you do, what kind of gesture you make. Believe me, people who are in the US, they have a little bit of just knowledge about psychology, and that's why they are just observing that what do you do. Some people chew their pen. That's all that you are under pressure. Now, sometimes it will be there as well that the problem will not be solved in 30 minutes. It might take 1 hour or more than 1 hour, but they purposefully say that you have 30 minutes to solve this problem. Are you asking for more time or not? Okay. If you don't ask for time and you try to do in 30 minutes, believe me, that work would not be satisfactory. You know that, and that interview know that, but they will not give you more time if you don't. Many times, and in most of the cases, they purposefully give you the small time frame just to see if you are asking for a time or not. If you ask for, okay, can I have 5 or 10 more minutes? They will gracefully say, yeah, take your time. Okay. So now if you have a 30 minute and now you have 40 minutes, how much time you get? More time, right? 25% more time. Just because you ask. Why? The company who follow the work-life balance, I don't know about the company where we have come from. They want to do everything by the evening, but some company doesn't work that way. They want to see if you are really honest, and even if you ask or counter question the team or management, because if your manager will always want that you do 4 hours work in a 3 hours, right? Because it generates more revenue, you get more deposit. But in that hurriness, are you spoiling the work? Are you just making the mess out of the work? Right? So this is how people will make you under pressure by giving little time or by purposefully omitting few details or giving you some very random and vague statement that you don't question at all. In the trends of AI, they might ask you to do something on AI, which even researchers have not done or validated. So are you questioning them or not? So these are some tactics that they use just to make you under pressure. Now, how to solve this? Okay, how to tackle this? As I mentioned, once you are given a problem statement, if you are thinking that, okay, as per my experience, the details are missing, ask for more details. If you think that time would be short, and ask that, okay, I know you have given me 30 minutes, but based on my experience, I think it might take 45 minutes. Can I have 15 more minutes, please? You can ask this politely and nobody will say. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes, makes sense. So I had a follow-up question on this.
Sure.
So you mentioned that they might ask, just to put us under pressure, they might ask us that what I'm sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought.
Take your time.
Yeah, so you just mentioned that they might ask you something which has not been proven yet. Like they might just ask you something literally out of the world, which you might not, you might just not be able to react onto that. Like you don't know where to start, and you're in a place where you don't know where to go. So in such situations, what could we do?
Right. So sometimes, for example, I will tell you how this went based on what I have done in experience. So if we are hiring for junior designer, purposefully the task would be for lead or leadership manager. And you have 2 years of experience, and if we ask, okay, that they might ask you to do the accessibility audit or fixing the accessibility issue. Now, as a designer, you must know about one or two things as a junior level designer on the color contrast and font size. Correct? But they might give you the task that, okay, fix the audio accessibility for this portal. You might have never in your life heard about the accessibility about the audio, worked on this kind of thing, but they still give you just to see what do you say. Okay, and they will explain that. Okay, and lot of things they allow you to serve the internet as well. Okay, yeah, those who have internet with me, they know that we allow that. Okay? Done that because end of the day, even if you're working in your company, you use the internet. It's not that it is not your college or IIT level exam that you can't use the book. Right? So you will be given all the resources and everything. Then they will figure out that how quickly do you learn the things. Okay? But they will purposefully give you something that is not based on your experience, that is not in your level of experience. Okay? So that's how the thing. So if you are in that scenario, you can ask that, okay, can I use the internet or can you give me more about this audio accessibility because I have not worked with it. That's fine. It's not that they will say, no, you have not worked on audio accessibility, that then they will teach you. That doesn't happen. If they are really looking for a person who are really good in audio accessibility, they will include in JD that we are looking for a designer who has specialty or mastery in fixing the accessibility for audio and video. Okay. So this is the kind of thing that happens. Okay. Okay. Now, technical round or assembly. As a designer, as soon as this round comes, you do the field assignments, this assignment, field work. Those genuine, those concerns are genuine. I know that a lot of companies do this dark practices. They give the work and the name of interview just to find us. But not all the companies follow that. Those companies are very limited. Okay. But we'll discuss things more in that. But what is the purpose of this round? And this round is all about checking your technical skill, the tools that you use, okay, your UI and visual part. Okay. And it is that it would be tested that, okay, how fast you are in using the software, how good you are using software, how much knowledge you have on the software. Currently, I know it's a Figma, but it might not always be Figma. They might give you some other tools. This company, some companies use Excel, some companies use Adobe XD, okay, still, and some companies just follow the sketch. Okay, they use the sketch, and they mostly write this in their JD. But if you have somehow missed it and you clear 3 rounds, but as soon as you are reaching the technical round, and they'll give you that, okay, create this UI in the Adobe XD, and you don't know anything about Adobe XD, then you know that, okay, that is the round where you would mostly get dropped, but still, you should give your 100%. And this is the round where your tool-related knowledge would be tested. Okay. Now, some people question that as a UX designer, what core UX designer, why this round matter? Okay. So, the role specific, I would say skill specific role generally happens in MNC, where there would be just the researcher, just the interaction designer, who just create the interaction. That would be visual designer, right? But most of companies who are on the service-based industry, they hire the product designer or the UI UX designer, where you would do from UX to UI, everything. Okay? That's why they want to check each and every skill of yours. Okay? And in the age of AI, not only your UI skill, but nowadays your skill on the no-code tools and all these things are also being evaluated. Okay. I am not experienced or did this kind of specific AI round, but I have seen some company are just including this round just to see how good you are using this kind of tool like Lovable, UX Pilot, UISR, which are just AI powered software to create the designs. Okay, US. But in the age where roles and I would say lines are getting blurred between UI, UX, and developer, it is good that you know somehow few of the things, right? That's why the technical round is there. Mostly in UI designers job it is there, but as a UI UX designer, you also need to know about this kind of tools. And again, this without say goes in each and every round, they will check your behavior and facial expression in each and every round. Now, what can you expect? This rounds typically, if it is online, it spans between 1 hour to 2 hours. And if it is offline, they will give you the whole details and PRD, PDF or PPT, and they might be asked you to submit it in 2 to 4 days. These are the round typically led by the lead designer, the team lead. Now, what kind of problem would be given? It would be that they will give you to create a screen on Figma or Adobe XD or the Sketch, right? If it is online, they will also ask you to share your screen. As you are doing the work, they will know that where you struggle. Are you naming your frames and what kind of file hygiene you are creating? Okay? How do you use the ready-made design library to quickly create your screen? Sometimes they give that, okay, you can use this library. Sometimes they give you the freedom that you need to create one dashboard screen. You can use any Figma communities open library, okay? And you are free to use anything. And sometimes they give you a specific library. You have to, it can be anything. Okay? So in the technical round, they will see your UI as well as your design component usage, as well as what is your speed, how well do you know the shortcuts and everything. Okay, all the things will be tested in this. Now, there might be some question as well. Okay, well, so when you are selecting the color, if they have not given you the color, they might ask, then why did you choose this particular color? Because they just want to test your color theory knowledge. Okay, it might be around typography. Okay, it might be around spacing techniques as well. Okay, generally this question comes when you have used somewhere like 16 pixels and somewhere you are using 20 pixels, and they have seen that you are not following the consistent spacing. They will ask that what is the spacing technique you are using. Okay, that should give you a head that have I not used the consistent spacing technique? You need to double check what you are doing. Okay? So make sure you follow the consistent spacing of that. Sometimes it is about accessibility, mostly around the color contrast and font size. Okay, don't use too much dull color that are not visually good. Okay, like gray or light gray color. Okay, and sometimes they will ask just that you don't have to perform it. They might ask, hey, have you ever used Pixelmatic or Lovable to create any design? Just this kind of thing, just to gauge your interest in the AI part. And question around design library system. They might ask that, okay, what is the difference between design library and design system? Okay, believe me, not both are the same thing. Okay, here is the trick. Here's the question. The design library or the UI kit. That is the your component colors and typography is Figma file or the sketch file or Adobe XD, whichever tool you are using. That is just the UI or the component library or the design library. When you say design system, so design system is not just a component, but component developed in particular language. It is tested, even developer can use that code. You might have seen some documentation of the Atlassian's design system or Uber design system. Right? When you go to the document, they give you the components, description, do's, don'ts, and in time there will be a code block as well, which you can copy and use in. That is the design system where design, development, and QA, everything is done. Okay. So that is a very vast difference between design library and design system. And most of the time, I have seen people have just worked on design library because they created few components. We answered, okay, have you worked on design system? They say yes. And as soon as we ask, okay, which language developer used to create the design system? They said, no, no, no. It was created in Figma. I created this button input. That's so that way, that basic four different that you should know, don't know that. Okay? So make sure that you don't fall into this kind of trap. Now, if it is offline, okay, sometimes they, very rarely, but it happens, they ask you to come to the office. Okay. Now, they will either make you sit with other designer or they will just give you one spot. It can be anything. Okay? It depends on company. If it is a group activity where they will just pair you with some of their existing designers, okay, and say that okay, this is your problem and you have to solve it till the lunch. Okay, because that's a 2-3 hours of time. Now there are few things that will be happening there. One, the designer who is currently working in the company and you, how shy or how uncomfortable you are in starting. Have you started asking the question? How are you interacting with the other? Yeah, okay. These are the team collaboration skills that they observe. And that designer you are paired with, that are the person who is actually taking your interview, not the person who greeted you or who seated you. Okay. And if it is not that case, then they will give you one separate room or the meeting room where you will be working on a problem. They would come half an hour and just see how you're doing okay, everything, right? But in offline, it is very rare, but this kind of round has happened. So in this thing, they give you the dummy task. Okay? That we create, I would say, the login or sign up for this, or create this website. It depends on the company, what kind of company it is. Okay? It might, they will not ask you to create 5-7 pages, right? Because obviously it's not 2-3 hours. That takes the whole day or sometimes 2 days. So they will give you a task which is possible in 2-3 hours. It can be anything. You would given a brief in the email as well sometimes before you go to the interview. Previously, they might send you an email that okay, this is the task you will be working on. So if that's the case, and this happens very rarely, okay, then do some basic research before you go to the interview next day. You do some research so you can start working on the problem rather than spending time on research. And generally, that is something that in this, if it is a 2-3 days or 2 days task, and you could be expected that they will ask you for the wireframe, your research, case study, anything. Yeah? And sometimes they will ask for the follow-up calls. Okay? Once you submitted your thing, they might ask that, okay, can you get on follow-up call and present your solution? Because at the same time, they might have received multiple assignment from multiple people. So time, as soon as they get it, they will do this at half an hour or the 15-minute follow-up call. Okay. Now, few tips for this round that I know it is a technical round, but even if you have a question, and generally the question should be around this. What is the artboard size that you want me to use? If it is not clarified in the brief, okay. Sometimes they give you the detailed brief that you need to use this artboard, or they might just say that create a web application. Then just ask that, okay, do you want me to use specific artboard size, or I can take my own? That is also shows that you are vigilant about this thing, right? When we say web, then web means from 102476821920 by 1080. It can be any resolution, right? So you can ask this kind of question. If it is a website, then ask that is it the mobile responsive or not? Do I need to create responsive design or not? If they say yeah, it is responsive, but you don't need to create mobile responsive, but just make sure that even if we in the future make it mobile responsive, it works. Okay? So ask this kind of clarification from the interview. Okay. Before going to such kind of review the UX principle, accessibility, about the colors and size, okay, heuristic, responsive design, anything that you might think of which comes with the US spacing techniques, 4-point spacing techniques, 8-point spacing technique. Okay. Now, these are the question I have something. Sometimes they say 7 days, 10 days work. Should we do it or not? I say don't do it. But if you are so desperate, if your financial condition are worse, and you can't see any chance that you got, then you can do it. If you are not doing any current job, then you can do it as well, right? Because then you have the time. But doing from your 8 or 10 hour job and spending that much time, sometimes might not be possible. It will drain you. So this is the ethical dilemma question, which doesn't have any one fit for all answer. And it is up to you that you decide that is it worth spending 7 days in this problem. If it is a good company and good pay scale, it's definitely worth it. But if you feel that no, it is not worth it, you politely just saying that hey, thank you for the opportunity. I feel the 7 days work is too much for me apart from my regular job. I really appreciate that and withdraw from this application. This is totally a dilemma, but I can't tell you the exact answer. This is up to you. Uh, and if it is a take-home assignment, I would say that whatever research, competitor analysis, mood boarding for the color, whatever you do, you document those things. Okay. Either you share it in PDF, PPT, or the Figma or Figma, whatever you are using. Okay. But share your process as well. Okay. That I researched about this, I found this is this, I found this gap. I decided the color after this many rounds of mood boarding. If they have given the exact color palette, then you don't need to worry about it. But if they have not given, then which color you selected and why. Document all your process and rationale and then save it in the PDF or the picture or whatever one it is done. Okay. Again, time box your activity. If it is offline for 2 days or 3 days or 4 days, you spend your time on how you tackle this thing. Okay. Do you need a time for research? And yes, and ideation time and then UI, then divide your time accordingly. If it is directly that they have given a JPEG or some screen that you need to create this exact screen, then time box the activity around that I will spend 2 days in creating the screen and 1 day just to double check that are the names and are hygiene correct or not. Right? This is how you should divide your time. And very rarely I have seen it, but this helps a lot. So, because not all the time you would get a presentation round after your interview. Okay, it's just you submit your assignment and you want to hear back on those movies. So how you can make sure that you are heard, your chances of getting findings. So once everything is done, record a short demo like 2, 3, 5 minutes, explaining what is this screen, even if you have interaction, what happens when you hover or click here, how does this thing. Record that demo and upload in your Google Drive or whatever drive you are using, and then save that recording link along with your submission. It creates a big impact. Okay. Not only in interview, even if you are working with some client where you might be sending this kind of update, right? That, hey, we have worked on this screen, here is the Figma link. But that Figma link, and along with that, adding this short video, that makes a huge difference, even with your client, not only with the interview. So try this in your next work for the client as well. Include the video and see the kind of response you get. So if you are comfortable, record your video. And you don't need paid to. If you are using Slack allow 5 minutes free recording time. There are plugins like free recording, which also allows you video recording up to 180 pixel, up to 5 minutes. And there are a lot of other plugins that you can. So these are the things you can do. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so Manoj, I have seen recruiters sending, a full-fledged requirement document that has, requirement of the whole SaaS product, and all the modules are listed in that, and it is very well prepared, a detailed document. And and the time given is around 1 or 2 days. So we have seen such scenarios, right? How much to prioritize in this case? And even some recruiters mention in the document that this will be just a task and will not be used as a commercial work. But some do not. I mean, they do not mention anything that this will not be used for a client project or something. So how to identify that? Yeah, this is the alleged task, and if it feels legit, how much to prioritize? I mean, if are they looking for a complete flow, or we need
So,
you need to prioritize some of the flow? How should it go?
okay. So this is again that question I am asked told them, and they might give you all the modules, all the flow that you need to create login, register, dashboard, and one product heading. Believe me, no company gives this much task. That's why I told you that if you feel this is too much, if you don't trust the company, don't do that. Okay. Because technical knowledge can be measured just by giving you one or two things. You don't need the five flow to do that. Unless they are paying you. Then, okay, this will take 7 days, we will pay you. Go and do it. But if it is not a paid assignment, in India it is very rare. I know you might not have even seen a company who pays to do this 5 7 days assignment, but in other countries it is there. Yeah. They don't just take the benefit from they pay you even if it's little because you're spending the time. But in India it is very rare. So I would tell if that's the case that you think this is too much of work, even there is a disclaimer we will not use, or even there is not, doesn't matter. If it is more than 8 working hours task, no, you work, right? You know how to do the stuff. If it is more than 8 working hours, then it is your call not to do it. But if you are really desperate, you are out of the work for so long and you need that job, then you can do it. And there are very rare chance that you would be away from the start when you are giving all the flow. Okay. Sometimes very small companies try to do this, they don't have to give you a different idea, then they use that idea and launch the product. You might see sometimes, you might have seen this kind of company on LinkedIn as well. Okay. And that's the thing. It is up to you to decide if it is more than what they are asking or it should be standard. Then more than 8 working hours is a big no. Okay, in a sense. Because they know that you are a working person, so you spend 2 hours per day. So they will, that's why they will give you 3 to 5 days later. Okay. They can't tell that, okay, give me 1 day. Then you have to take a leave. Then who will pay for that leave? That leave is not free, right? It is on the leave. It comes like a 1 day salary. But yeah, if it is on Friday and they say that you do this weekend, then it is worth it. Then yeah, you can do it. But it should not more between 8 to 10 working hours. If it is that, I would say don't do that. But if you are still in the need of the job, go ahead, be my guest. You will be very less chances to get it.
Got it. Thank you.
Now, so if there is a presentation now, or it is online where you might have to present things, and walk through your process solution and everything. Okay, and they will give you the feedback. Okay, very rarely few company give, but they might give that. Okay, your research was proper, but in the UI we found this thing, or the naming was not proper, or the file hygiene was not thing, or the spacing was not consistent. Some any kind of feedback, and just take the feedback and make sure that it's working this feedback to the next one. So handle the feedback this, and there is one thing that will stand you on. Okay. So technical round, when it is online, okay, make sure that you ask questions while you are doing the work, even after you are doing the work. And they take the benefit, okay? You are getting 1 or 2 hour mentorship from the lead designer. Okay? Ask the question that, okay, sometimes they say that in time we can discuss that. Then what should we do? Once your screen or feature is designed, or whatever task you're going to done, then ask that, I have done this way, but do you know any better way that I can speed up my work, or it can be done in a different way? You might not know, they might have some tricks that they will do. Okay. You might ask that, okay, I have used the 4-point spacing technique because that was my logic. But what do you think? Is 4-point or 8-point spacing technique is better? Okay. You can ask that, okay, I use the 12 column grid system. Okay. Generally people use that. But as per you, what should be the ideal better space between 2 points? That shows that, okay, you are conversing like a team. You are asking the question genuinely, and also you are trying to learn the things. Okay? So this round is the thing that you would, because in the screening round you can't ask the question that how would you solve this problem, how would you do the work. But technical round is long, and generally it would be that you are doing work, that person is just sitting in the silent there, just watching you. So time to time, if you have something, then you can discuss them, okay, and try to get something that can be useful for your day-to-day design life, or it might help you in the next interview. So take this round as a mentorship assessment and make sure. Okay, and if it is offline, sometimes they might give you the feedback. Then ask that, okay, I know you have reviewed my assignment and you have rejected me, but is there any chance that I can work on this feedback and send you the updated iteration? Okay, sometimes they give you the time, sometimes they say, no, we have hired, but that's fine. But you can ask for that. So that is the technical rounds. Any question that you might have? Yes.
Hi, sir. So I wanted to ask regarding the design assignment. Some companies ask to give edit access to the Figma file. Is this a usual practice, or I wanted to opinion of on this?
I don't think edit access is required. Even if you have given VFX, I can see the design, I can see the layer. Even I can see the property I want, even if I want to use your. I don't know why they ask for the edit access. It might be that their designer want to use that, so they might be asking or something like that. No, typically the company not ask for edit access. They just, and believe me, legit company would not ask for the Figma file as well. They said that once your design are done, just share in the high quality PDF or any other form. But yeah, if they are asking for edit access, mostly it might be they want to do it traceable. But that is also not needed. I don't know why company are also so dumb. Because if you have shared a view access file with me, there comes the option in Figma where you can copy that file. And once you copy that file, you can do anything you want. You don't even need the edit access. Okay, so if they are asking such a question, they might not know that how to copy the file. But yeah, typically it is not required. They usually ask for open the file. Everything online that they say that open your file and explain me or show me your layer, show me your name. That is fine. That's so it. But typically we as a interviewer, we don't need the edit access at all. Sometimes they ask for the file if they have to submit in the portal, but you just can just zip the file and send it. Edit access for that.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
Now the BDL round, some company keep it separate, but most of the company combine it with portfolio. But if it is a separate, it would be just to evaluate your soft skill, okay, your adaptability. How would you handle the future challenge once you are joined and everything? Okay, they ask you the question around this. That, okay, tell me how did you collaborate with different team in the past, or if you face this kind of situation, the client was not happy with your work, what did you do? This kind of question that shows that, okay, how did you handle the situation? How did you adapt to it? How did you collaborate with the different stakeholder, design, development, QA, or even the client? Okay. And this is the key part, right? That will make sure that you will fit in the existing job. Okay, that's why I feel the wrong. Now, this round is very short and sweet. Mostly it is 15, but sometimes conversation goes very happy flow and everything. It might go up to 30 minutes, but generally it's 15 to 30 minutes. And it is on time. Very, I have not heard anyone going for detailed round was offline, but it went. And this is mostly a standalone round, or sometimes it would be combined with the final round, or sometimes it would be done with the portfolio student. It can be combined with any of these two rounds. Now, in this round, they will see the vocabulary, they will see what kind of good, I would say, grasp you have about the English communication and all that. They will ask around the key questions, like what was the team that you have worked, how many designers are there, how did you share the feedback with each other, how did you learn, if you had an issue with your colleague, because you were saying this is good design, this is good design, how did you arrive at a solution? Okay? This kind of things would be mostly tested. Just via questions. You don't have to present anything in this round. I have not seen, but they just ask the question. And it would be sometimes that, okay, can you tell me your last project, tell me what happened, what was the team structure, how did you handle the feedback, what was the typical process in that, and like how did you, if you are given, if you are working in sprint based, right? How did you prioritize which features to take first? How did you resolve the conflict? And they will just try to think that, okay, based on your answer, are you aligning with company's vision and mission or the company's value or not? Now, in this round, make sure that you are very honest and if share the situation, right? Where you have collaborated. If you have not faced that kind of situation, just gracefully say that I have faced this situation. For example, you might have talked about that. Okay, I was a solo designer, so I did not get to work with a team. But they have purposefully asked the question that how did you resolve the conflict? And you say, we were two designers where we were at the point where whose design is good. In the previous interview, you have said that you are a solo designer. Suddenly now you are two designers, right? That's a conflict, right? So don't just make up the story just to prove the scenario that you have faced. Okay. So if you have not faced any kind of scenario, just say that, okay, I have not faced this scenario so far. But if it comes, I will see how to solve that out. I would learn from the others. Okay. So that should be your standard response rather than just making up the story just to fit. Okay? That's question. Okay. Sometimes they will ask that, okay, you want to join us. Tell me which of our value you would like to, or which of our value you would like to. So on that, you really need to know about company design, mission, and value. For that, you need to visit their website. Okay, so check their value and mission on their website before you go to this kind of round. And if the answer is very short, avoid the lengthy answer generally. If, let's say the question was around, okay, what was the team structure? And you should say that, okay, there was one lead designer, two UI designer, and one researcher. Let's say, like, okay, I did the most of work, research was not given to me. That was not asked. That you were asked just about the team structure or the team size. Right? So keep your answer very precise and strong. And sometimes it's not always that will be happy scenario. There might be some product you have worked, and they will ask the question that tell me one of the failed product or one of the product that did not work and shut down. What was your learning from it? Okay. So it might be failure, but what you learned from it? Okay. Did you learn about why you should not avoid the user research because that's why the product launched, but nobody was there to use it? Did you not create the proper UI? Research was done, but UI was so cluttered and everything that people were not finding it useful. So anything that you learn from those kind of failure, just say that, okay, this is the thing I have learned from this failed project or failed module or whatever. And as I mentioned, if you have not faced any particular scenario, just say that you have not faced it. Right? Don't make up the story. By mistake, if that thing happens in the future, and you have expressed this, and now that situation there, and you are not able to find the solution, that will tell that, okay, you were just lying. You might not be technically evident, but that happens. So just make the story. Okay, so that is about the problem. Now I will take the final round as well because sometimes it is combined and then we'll. The final round is something. Sometimes it's combination of behavioral round and final round. Sometimes it is a separate round as well. The purpose is round is just fit for the role, which includes salary, expectation, and discussion, HR policy, anything that you might have around those kind of things. Okay. Any question you might have about leave benefits, whatever you name it. Okay. Sometimes it might be just to cover the question that might not have been covered in the previous round. Okay. So those are the questions that would be asked in this round. Now, this kind of round typically is 30 to 60-minute round. It might be solo round or it might be panel round. Sometimes it is HR and any of the, I would say, senior level person. It can be manager, it can be director. So not in the MNC company mostly the manager will be there. But if it is a very small company, their CEO or the VP or director, whoever it is there, they take this kind of round. Okay? And sometimes it is taken online, but sometimes they call you in person as well. Particularly if it is for lead or manager role, they provide you the ticket and everything to go to their office. Right? So it happens. So in this round, mostly I know you might have gone through 5 rounds where you are tested for your thinking, your technical skill, your portfolio, but still they will ask this question because that C-level executive or the senior management, they might not be aware of each and everything that happened in the previous. But they will just casually ask a small question. They will not ask you to present the whole portfolio. They might just ask you what was the best project you have worked so far. Okay, what is your strength? What is your weakness? Any kind of thing that can, along with your salary expectation, your roles and responsibility. Okay. They will also tell about the team structure in this round. Okay, that what is the team structure that they have. Okay, and what would be the expectation once you join the company. Okay, as soon as you join the company, what are the expectations? Salary, benefit, and any other logic addition because if it is a remote or hybrid, would I get relocation, reimbursement, anything that will come, that will be discussed in this round. And this case, like the same as the BL round, you really need to know about the, I would say, company, their recent project, and just visit their CEO or VP or directors LinkedIn profile and see what they are doing, what kind of knowledge and experience they do. Sometimes it might come in handy as well. So make sure that you visit all of this in their personal website as well as on the LinkedIn. And make sure that you keep the same enthusiasm as the first round and the last round as well. And why you really want to join this company? What are the benefits that you, or what are the things you would bring to the company? And be honest about your career goals. You might have your own career goals. It's not that you are working for the company. No, you definitely will work for the company, but apart from work, you might have your personal goal that in this time I want to become a manager, I want to become a lead, or I want to become a subject matter expert. Whatever is your personal goal, okay? That uses business. But about career, not that I want to buy a bike or I want to buy a car. How are not your career goal, but those are your lifestyle goals. Okay? So make sure you understand the difference between lifestyle goal and career. And if there was any feedback in any of the round, portfolio, technical, right portfolio, and you still reach to the last round, make sure you reconnect with them that, okay, during this round, I got this feedback, and I will make sure that before I join your company, I will work on this, or I will try to improve on this. Okay? That reaffirms them that you are open to learning and you are very good in receiving and handling the feedback. And this would be last round, so ask any question that you. Okay, if it is how many CLE, EL I will get, do I get the insurance or not? What is the salary? What is the salary rate? Is it coming on every first or fifth or 10th? Is there any bonus scheme? Is there any performance based bonus? Whatever question you have, this is the round where you should ask. Okay? So that's a wrap up. Few of the things that before you do, you should do is do some mock interview if it is possible with some mentor or some of your friend or even if your colleague if they are really good with you. Okay, be authentic, inclusive, and metric driven. Your portfolio should show this kind of thing. Okay, don't shy away asking questions in any of the role. Okay, you are entitled to ask the question. Okay, it should not be that only they ask the question. You have as much as right to ask the question as they do. Okay, but don't shy away from asking the question. And take the rejection as a feedback for your next round. Okay, so take it in a positive manner and feedback for your next round. Okay? Every feedback is crucial for your career and for your next step. So, this is all. Anybody have any questions? No question. Was that very crystal clear? That there is no question? Okay. I can explain to you the mark for fashion execution. So usually for the entry level job or the job for the associate designer, uh, they they would highly check your enthusiasm and your learning. How much eager you are to learn. How do you want to make an impact? Okay? They will not ask that have you worked on enterprise level project, right? Because as a fresher, you will not have got this kind of chance. Right? You might have done some small project, some website project, small MVP or something like that. So they don't expect this. From entry level designer, they really need, they will focus on your communication and how much eager you are about to learning and how much eager you are joining that company and what would you bring to the company. As a fresher, you would bring the fresh perspective because people working 5, 10 years there, they might be tend to this kind of culture. So are you bringing anything new? And believe me, this is something that I have found in this generation. Like I come from millennium, okay, 90s. And the people, the designers joining our company mostly are Gen Z. Okay. And they have very different perspective and work life and culture related perspective. And that is very welcome by us because as a millennial, we are tend to work in a certain situation, but they are not, and they are very open about it. They are also very open about learning the new thing. They are not typically fixed that okay, because I was given this task, once it is done, my job is done. That happens for 80s and 90s people who are like government employee kind of people who are in that company from last 10 years, and they are like very short end. But these are the people, the freshers, they are very hungry. They will do 3 tasks, even if they are given one, just to prove themselves and just to make the impact. So as a fresher, you should want to make sure that you learn the things, okay, and you pass that knowledge even to your senior. And that's the good culture in the company that they are open to learning from junior as well. Okay? If you find such a company, that is the goal. Not that okay, senior says the final say. That's the company culture. You are either doomed or you are just staying there because you need a salary to survive. Through. But if the company is very open, even you can pass the feedback to your CEO. That is the company you should stick to. I hope that answers the question.